Welcome to the Parley, a conference between opposing sides in a dispute. The premier debate arena. Here is how things work.
We got the quintessential topic of college football right now. Who will be more successful in the NFL? Archie Manning or Shedeur Sanders? Your time starts whenever you do.
So y'all should already know who I have. I had to put the money shades on for this. But man, of course, easy, it's Shedeur Sanders. I don't know why you let Ron set you up like this. First off, we already go with the body of work. His poise, unmatched. 35 for 35 when he's up under pressure. 10 for 10 this year, let alone. And I'm talking about this is when defenders are right in his chest. That's definitely what you can judge quarterbacks off of. He has a body of work. We saw it at HBCU level. He comes to a Power 5 level, he does similar to the same things. Takes care of the ball like we've never seen before. What do you want out of a young quarterback going into the NFL? Taking care of the ball. That's how you can extend your career. Being a great game manager. That is something Shedeur can do. Also, you are as good as your mentor. You could say Arch Manning has a mentor, Eli and Peyton Manning, which is his uncles, but Shedeur has Tom Brady. And I think Tom Brady is better than both of those quarterbacks. One of them couldn't even beat Tom Brady for the longest until he got some help from Leotis McKelvin with an interception. Don't forget that, because Peyton Manning was known as the greatest regular season quarterback of all time because of Tom Brady. But we're not finna talk about them. We're talking about that's his mentor. That's why I think Shedeur is gonna be a better quarterback of all time. Then his dad is one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. So he's pretty much telling him what the defense does, and so he's learning from an opposite end, and he plays quarterback. So you know he's not having to live up to the status of his uncles, shall I say. He gets to run his own course of history by him playing quarterback versus DB. Because when you get into that nasty rabbit
Time. Swipa, it's on you.
Peyton Manning's also 3-1 versus Tom Brady in AFC Championship game, so I don't know what that stat's about. One cleared in the playoffs. But I think when you're talking about like Arch, one of the things I think that's important to talk about is being at Texas, especially in like a pro-style system, I think it's actually what's going to benefit him most. And he actually just talked about this. He plans to stay in college for all 4 years. I think one of the things that Shedeur's running into right now is that he's having so much success so early, which is obviously he's very talented. But I think his offensive line has obviously severely hampered him. As good as he's been, I think him having to deal with the pressure rate he deals with, the amount of times he's having to run, and on top of that, Shedeur also has a tendency to not hold on to the ball. And again, you know, Archie also possesses a natural athleticism that comes more easily to him than Shedeur does. So I think there are things that he's going to be able to develop in his time at Texas. I think learning 3-step counts, learning 5-step counts, being able to process through reads in a healthy way. And I think some of this is having a benefit of being behind a good offensive line. And I think as you continue to progress through your career, if you're not having to make chaos-led decisions as a quarterback, that's going to help you as you step into the NFL. I mean, we're seeing right now, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and Jaden Daniels, all those quarterbacks are struggling in different ways, in large part because they're having to come into a system, a pro-style system, and process at an NFL level with NFL-level athletes, and it's just an exposure thing. I think the fact that he's playing at Texas versus elite level competition, and he's gonna be able to develop slowly to learn the mechanics that will help him be successful on money downs, which is third down, fourth down. That stuff's gonna help in the long run.
That is time. We're moving on to round 2. It's back to you, Bama. Talk to us.
You've already won it for me. I just told you again, he's 35 for 35 when faced up under pressure. You can't get no better than that. He's 100%. With the body of work he has. He's already played 4 years, so we've already seen this. I've already walked it from the the D1 Mountaineer level at the HBCU. Now he's doing it at the Power 5 level. When we get to the NFL, he's already playing with lesser athletes, receiver as well as Jimmy Horn is good. That's his best receiver, but let's be honest. He might be a 3rd, 4th round draft pick. Imagine him with a true receiver 1 imagine him in Miami right now. A lot of those teams, Shedeur will set that on fire because now, you're right, he does have a horrible O-line, but I could honestly say when he gets to the NFL, it's gonna be better than what he has right now. And then even if it is bad, he's already used to it already. And again, he's 100% when faced with pressure. So that speaks to his poise. That's something that you really can't coach. It's either you got that or you don't. And Shedeur is already showing he has that. Another thing he's showing that he has is the criticism. He gets unfair criticism from everybody just because he wears gold jewelry. A lot of other reasons why, because he lives in Boulder, Colorado. You know what I mean? I mean, think about what he's already doing for Boulder, Colorado in the midst of all of that bullshit stuff. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's going to be, because we don't know how Arch Manning is going to respond to that type of pressure. We seeing him at Texas, but he played at a private school. That's not no reputable talent. His last game was versus UTSA, Texas San Antonio. That's not a reputable opponent. We still seeing him versus very low level.
We about to start seeing him, because it's back to you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you're bringing up like statistics versus the blitz. Well, Bo Nix was excellent last year at Oregon versus the blitz, but transitioning to the NFL is a way different deal. Bo Nix has been terrible. But I think, again, when you're translating that to the NFL level, I think one of the things Shedeur is going to have to work on, despite his pressure statistics now, is because he's holding on to the ball so long, if you're not able to get through those reads quickly, and again, because there's a deficiency in athleticism, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be closer to someone like Teddy Bridgewater, who's, again, really good quarterback, really solid pro-level quarterback. He was a Pro Bowler for a little bit, but there are also a ceiling on what he can do physically. I think Shedeur has a really talented arm. He's very accurate, but because he doesn't have the fastest feet work, because he doesn't process things as quick as you would like him to, with having a dearth of athleticism you need at that position in this era, we wouldn't say he's more athletic than somebody like a Joe Burrow, for instance. And Joe struggles even with being able to get in and out of the pocket and get in and out of reads at times. I think Arch being able to do this underneath a good system, also having a natural athleticism that will allow for him to escape pass rush, 5-pass rush, 6-man pass rush, again, getting it out of money downs, third downs, fourth down. There are just going to be things to his game that I think he's going to develop as time goes on. And again, you're talking about coming from prestige. Well, again, if you're a Manning, there's no more pressure than you can get than being the golden boy of college football already. So I think all that put into place with the fact that he's going to have to learn through the next couple of years as he grows into a college player, but eventually when he steps into the pros, he's gonna have all the tools, all the mechanics, and all the athletic ability he needs to be as successful as possible.
All right, fellas, we got 4 minutes for you guys to go back and forth, but I'm gonna kick it off.
Sure.
Obviously, you mentioned that these guys both have a lot of pressure, and they both have big shoes to fill. How does that pressure mold into the way that they'll blossom in the NFL?
I think for Arch Manning, it's gonna play out in the most horrible way, because he's chasing something that his uncles already are, and they were very great at. Eli Manning in the playoffs, Peyton Manning in the regular season, they basically were unicorns in their own right, and so he's chasing after that to be of that essence.
Why are you taking Peyton Manning out of that like he didn't pick 4 separate head coaches to Super Bowls? No one's ever done that. Stop saying he just did the regular season.
Peyton Manning was known as the regular season quarterback, the greatest regular season quarterback of all time for everyone, because he choked several times in the playoffs.
So did Tom Brady.
We're not even finna bring that up. A lot of times, Tom Brady beat, and then you bring up them times in the AFC Championship.
So you can have Archie Manning, he's going to have Eli Manning, he's going to have Peyton Manning that all have done it at a high level to help him to navigate the position. And then on top of that, when he gets to the league, he can have an entire team from the offensive line, ownership, front office, running backs, and receivers catered around his specific skill set.
So this is what I want to ask you.
And on top of that,
how well was that navigation? How well was that navigation for Chris Carter's son?
You cannot come into the league now, right now, but you're bringing up legacy blood stuff.
What about them navigations for them, though?
Bama, think about this.
Why it didn't work for them?
In the NFL, when you bring a quarterback in, a first-round quarterback, they have to at least have the athleticism of a player like a C.J. Stroud, because in this league now, you cannot simply just throw the ball. It's not saying Shedeur's not going to be successful, but he is not going to be in the same level class.
You keep bringing up his athleticism, but he can move.
But not to the same degree as Arch.
Or
C.J. Stroud or Joe Burrow or any of them.
Shedeur has a lot of runs versus lackluster opponents like what Arch just
Lackluster?
Yes.
That's another thing. Who has Shedeur Sanders beat in college at the high level, at the Power 5 level, for you to think he's going to be able to translate this game?
It's not the Power 5 level, it's his body of work.
So again, Power 5. I'm talking about who he's played.
The same numbers. He put up 3,600 yards in the sweat.
Versus who?
30-plus touchdowns,
versus
single-digit interceptions.
Versus who?
He replicate that at a Power 5.
Who did he do that? Who does he play?
Lesser O-line,
who does he
lesser
play?
weapons.
Bama.
His best weapons.
Bama.
His best weapon literally plays 150 plays a game.
Who's the best team he beat this year?
That's already tired, and that's his best weapon.
I need you to answer the direct question. You yell into the camera. Who did he play well against this season so far? North Dakota State?
Are you going to answer this question, Bama?
No, it's only 2 games. He played well both games. He even played well in the Nebraska game with no pressure.
What?
I mean, he played well in the Nebraska game with all of that pressure.
He did?
Yes.
When they got zeroed? What are you talking about?
Bro, regardless of whether they got zero, he still plays
That's
well,
crazy.
bro.
So regardless of how well he played, they couldn't score a point in the first half.
I watched him live in a 42-6 beatdown versus Oregon, and he still played competent football.
You think he played well versus Oregon?
Even when everything...
When he couldn't throw past the sticks?
Bro, he still had over 200 yards passing and a touchdown. He still had a 2 yard.
So garbage time gets you good games.
It wasn't garbage time. It was throughout. They
were already down 31-0.
It was throughout the course of the game. You can't help. They just getting a beat down. But during the beat down, he kept fighting.
But that goes back to it. So if you're
though.
talking about translating to the next level, what I'm saying is in this league, especially
Manning,
with all the stuff that's happening.
Quarterbacks like Archie Manning would have had 5 picks that game.
Especially when you're talking about playing 2 high safety in this league now, you got to be able to throw outside the numbers, and you got to be able to move your feet, because now the defense is going to be set in stone. They're not giving you short and shallow no more. So again, Shedeur can still do that, but it's going to be more difficult for a less athletic quarterback. And the thing is, it's not like Arch isn't accurate. He's also accurate. So if he's able to move outside of the pocket on play action well versus single high, 2 high safety, or versus cover 3 zone, that's going to help him in ways that it's not going to help Shedeur.
We don't even know if he knows how to attack those zones yet. Shedeur has already shown he knows how to attack those zones. Granted, he holds the ball long, but I can attribute that to the lack of weapons.
You don't think they have good receivers at Colorado?
They have decent ones.
Decent receivers?
But they don't have nowhere near the receiver.
Travis Hunter playing receiver?
He plays receiver, but he ain't nowhere near that receiver room over at Alabama collectively. Ohio State collectively. Texas collectively.
I didn't realize that Texas was Alabama. I'm sorry, my fault. I didn't know that. I didn't know they had the same receiving core. My bad.
But what you talking about? You said Shedeur. I'm telling you the reason.
But you're saying he has a weak receiving core with both Horn.
Okay. He does.
Travis Hunter is like the best receiver in football right now.
He's not the best receiver. He's arguably one of the best, but that's not
so
the best receiver. So
he had a number 1 option on this roster.
But what I'm trying to tell you, overall receivers, Alabama or Colorado,
you just said they don't have
Colorado, Ohio State or Colorado, Arizona or Colorado.
You just said he doesn't have a good receiving core.
I'm talking about a plethora
Travis
of receivers.
Hunter's in the room. Horn's in the room.
I just told you Travis Hunter is playing 150 snaps. He's already tired.
That's the first time. He's tired.
You wasn't listening, Megamind. Use your mind.
He got 200-yard games already.
Time out. Cut. Job well done. Job well done.
Man said he's tired.
I think they'll both have great NFL careers. But we done. That's a wrap. Fire.
The Parley. Powered by passion. Like, subscribe, share.